Turkey, and I was wondering if you'd like to hear a brief message about God. Just take a second. You see, the angle we have on God, well, is that he talks to you. Yeah, you, personally. See, God talks to us through the Holy Ghost, and the Holy Ghost talks to us through our feelings. If you think of something that God wants you to do, you get this burning in your bosom that tells you that that thing is right. If it isn't right, you get a stupor of thought that makes it hard to remember the thing that wasn't true. And you can trust these feelings in all of the important decisions of your life, and they will never lead you astray. Well, unless, of course, you feel something you're not supposed to feel. Telling you to do something you're not supposed to do, and then you can't trust your feelings at all. Now, in fact, you should probably just ignore your feelings entirely and rely on other people to tell you what's right. I mean, if you don't, if you just really, really trust yourself and try to take a stand for your beliefs, no problem. There'll be plenty of us around with lots of shame and guilt just to keep you on track. Now, there's a tiny, tiny chance we might put a crack in the trust that you have in those feelings, even if it was that trust that God taught you to believe in God in the first place. I know, it can be a little confusing, but my training tells me that you haven't slammed the door on me yet, so now I should resolve your concerns with a personal example from my own life. So, the year is 1987. I am 19, and I am preparing to embark on a 2-year mission to Sweden for the Mormon Church. It's a proselyting mission. We're spreading the Word of God as the primary objective. In the Mormon faith, all members are obligated to abstain from alcohol, coffee, tea, premarital, extramarital sexual relations.
No!
But as official representatives of the church, missionaries are held to even stricter rules of conduct, collectively known as the White Handbook. For example, they must abstain from all romantic relationships, and they must keep a journal and record their mission experiences in writing every day. I wrote like 15 books worth of journals on my mission, and this is one of them. Transfers. Stockholm. I've been in Sweden for about 6 months now. They move us around a lot, changing companions every 2 to 3 months just so things don't get too familiar. I've just been assigned my first junior companion, a greenie fresh off the boat from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. January 2nd, December 30th, 1987, I went to a party at M's. She's an inactive member, and she brought a friend, Angela. She's half Greek, half Swedish, and oh my gee, gorgeous. We just got done watching Soul Man, and she had some concerns about how the church hadn't allowed blacks to hold the priesthood until like the 70s. So she was going to talk to F about his faith. F is from Zaire. But she asked me first instead about why would God make people all different colors anyways? I told her, I think it's like war or hunger or disease or any of the other problems. It's to test us. I think she liked my explanation. January 2nd, 1988. Okay, first, I'm warning you. I have not had women on my mind my whole mission. Despite what it seems from all those previous entries. Okay, I tried really, really hard to keep my mind on my work. All right, those are photos of people I actually met. Okay, fine. Miss Universe, that was from a magazine, but I actually met her. Really? That's how we're going to do this? I joked when I got my call that women would be my biggest problem in Sweden, if I had any idea how prophetic those words would prove to be. This business with Angela, it started out as a completely innocent and heartfelt attempt to bring an inactive member back to church. And Angela invited us over to see Lady Hawk over at her house. I had my misgivings, but Angela's mom was going to be there. And it seemed all right. Something prompted me to go, so we went. My little voice was telling me that Angela was one of those really, really special people, and people who get me, and who I get. Well, we spent, and I had no idea at the time that her feelings were anything more than friendship. I mean, we talked for like an hour, and then she just came right out and said it. But you're into me? And then I said, oh yeah, I feel the same, before my brain had a chance to do anything about it. Well, we talked and we laughed about the craziness of it all, about how we felt a little bit too much like this movie neither of us were watching. Those eyes. Oh dear Lord, those eyes.
No!
January 5th. I can't write tonight. My thoughts are all scrambled. All I know is I would give up my whole life in America to be with her after this is all done. We bumped into each other the other day, and she wasn't ready to talk yet. And she said she needed to wait a week. Oh God, I hope she changes her mind before Saturday. I called. I knew she wanted to wait, but I needed to talk to her so bad. I told her I feel like I gotta do this doubly right so that I can deserve her. And I've had doubts too. Trying to convince me that this is wrong, that I'm listening to a deceiving spirit. But I can't. No, I don't believe that. It was Sweet Willie S. who said, our doubts are traitors and cause us to miss the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. January 9th. I went to another movie night. Joked with Angela through the whole thing. Well, of course we sat together. Dangerous? You bet. Okay, all right. We decided we should probably be a little bit more discreet about it. But we just can't wait until we can both show the whole world. The spirit was incredible, and we're falling for each other. I'm gonna have to tell the president, and it probably means a transfer, but we're gonna make it. Okay, I admit it. I'm in love. January 10th. Amen. Church meetings. Angela left right after church, and I was worried that she was forgetting. I was panicking. But she turned to me, and she told me not to worry about it, that her love for me was as strong as ever, and that she would wait for me. And she put her hand on my face for a second, and said she had to go. I told her to get out of here. But it was my turn to be taught faith. January 13th. The assistants to the president, mission president, called, and they wanted to do some work together with me and the Greenie. So during the course of our interviews, I told them about the situation with me and Angela. So I'm really glad that it's out there now. The mission president must know by now. And that it came through the assistants and through me and not through gossip. January 16th. So we all went to S's and watched The Man from Snowy River. And, Top Gun. Oh! Neither Angela nor I really saw very much of either one of those movies. We just talked and talked, or just looked. I wonder sometimes how the whole world doesn't know that's going on. I mean, we try to hide it, but it just shines through in something so simple as shaking hands. I want so hard to do everything right. The temptation is huge to do things, things that would be fine if I wasn't a missionary. She said she's just never going to let me go. And I really hope she doesn't. January 23rd. Angela got sick, and I spent some time watching over her while she slept. I just kept thinking the whole time about how my heart told me over and over again that this is right. I mean, we are right. I found out later, the mission president knew nothing about our situation. I mean, whatever I thought I told the assistants, they had blown off. If I'd have known, I would have approached them sooner, but I didn't, so I didn't. Somebody else tipped them off to our relationship. And I got a call from the AP saying I needed to go to the mission office the next day. I also got a call from my accuser. In a weird twist of fate, this fellow missionary was somebody I knew from back home. I had dated her cousin in high school, and this one had gone out of her way on our mission to tell me what she thought of some of my ex's choices. Totally should have seen that coming. Anyway, she said she needed to be honest and let me know that she was the one who had outed me, and that she was doing it for my own good. Well, I said, maybe my own good might have been better served by, coming to me first. And she didn't have anything to say to that. I went to the mission office and talked to the president. He's a bit of a Southern Baptist type, and he acted all hurt and disappointed, and it made him really hard to deal with. I knew what he wanted me to say, but I wouldn't say it. And for the first time, the confidence and the faith and the trust that I had in the answers to my prayers was shaken. I was intimidated and scared and ashamed, but that just made me more willful. He told me to go home, pack my bags, and leave by the phone. Emergency transfers. So now I'm on a sleeper train to Göteborg and then on to Halmstad, exiled to a balmy beach resort town on the southwestern coast. Well, an awful lot has happened. January 26th. I had to call Angela and tell her I was transferred. That conversation pretty well finished me off. After all this mess, the only thing I'm really sure about is that I love her more than anyone I've ever loved before. I love her more than anyone I've ever loved before. I love her more than anyone I've ever loved before. It's so true, right? Every single time you say it. Even if it was a mistake to unlock my heart and let her in, she's in now. But this is a fact I cannot wish away. But I'm going to try. And just close off that part of me that's tied so very tightly to her. I hope, and I pray that forgiveness will extend so far as to give us both a second chance. If I dedicate my life to you in the next year, somehow I'm just sure that it will. January 29th. I just thinking over again about how the whole thing started. I mean, about how I wasn't out after anyone. Okay. All right. For the love of God, would you give it a rest already? I was 19. I was there. I mean, other people, they were out going to college or working or traveling. They were experimenting and failing and figuring it out for themselves. I was there. You had me. You had your foot on my neck, and I was doing the work with that stupid smile on my face the whole time. Why weren't those emergency lights flashing? I mean, when I told Angela that I felt the same, that was the moment that it all started. That was the moment it could have been stopped. But I become more and more convinced that the Spirit prompted me into that and not out of it. January 30th. But this is it. I will stand by this against anyone. I mean, if I don't know, how can I tell the people that they can trust the answers to their prayers? Joseph Smith said, I knew it, and I knew that God knew it, and I would not deny it. That's how I feel. I have received an answer to prayer. I'm convinced of that. I know what I know, and I know that God knows it. I love her more than anyone I've loved in my life. And I know that this is something I will stand by, even if it sends me home. But something inside me tells me this is important, that I should take a stand. It has never, ever led me astray before. January 31st. I just talked with Mom and Dad on the phone for about 2 hours. I mean, they understood that I didn't really understand what I was doing. It was being in love and showing it to everybody. My faith yesterday is kind of a joke, huh? I mean, if it isn't true, I've fooled myself more than I've ever fooled myself before. I've fooled myself more than I've ever fooled myself before. But if it's true, I mean, how much can I love her then to have dropped her so quickly? I mean, that's any way I come out losing. What a mess. February 1st. Well, what I meant yesterday is that, well, Mom and Dad really don't think this ever should have happened. And I'm starting to believe that, in a way. I mean, I saw that you can't be in love with another person when all those other people are looking at you to be a leader. I didn't realize that, or I would have kept my feelings hidden out of my responsibility to all those people. And that got me thinking, well, how can I say that I love her if I can't even put her as my first priority? Robert will be able to do that, but other people can't. And until he can, I got no business telling her that I love her. I wrote her a letter along those lines. I hope she understands. She's got the freedom to give it all. I don't. But I hope she'll hang on until I can. Until then, I'm going to try and let her go. And to not let her distract me from the work that I have to do. But I really miss her. February 2nd. I've eaten about a gallon of yogurt today. Made a whole lemon pie, ate that too. Melted one of the yogurt cans in the oven and threw it out the window. Take that, Shinky Dinks! I think Angela must have gotten my let's put on the brakes letter by now. Wonder how she's taking that. February 12th. Angela called. She wants to keep her communications right, and she didn't know exactly how to do that, so she figured a call would be okay to sort that all out, right? March 9th. Had to get up at 4 this morning. Get on the train down to Helsingborg. I love traveling by train. A few hours, finally alone. Just watching the countryside go by in the darkness. Well, zone conference was zone conference. The mission president made a point of saying that Angela and I couldn't have any contact. We won't talk about how that went. I promised the Lord I would obey. I called Angela to tell her that we couldn't have any more communication. Pretty much finished me off. Oh no, not one of my better days. March 29th. Angela called. 3 weeks of no communication had kind of broken her down. And, well, her mom told her to call. She said that I would probably like what Angela had to say more than what Mama had to say. So I guess that saved me another angry mother conversation. But we had a good talk, and we sorted it all out. She was laughing again by the end. I wish I knew what to do. I keep trying all kinds of arrangements and ideas, and then I keep breaking down and I keep trying new ones. But I truly believe it's not right to cut off another human being who cares about you. I mean, I will continue to strive for obedience, but I will not use my love or my affection or whatever to control the behavior of another person. That's not right. April 12th. That crazy woman showed up in Homestead, took a plane. Literally showed up on my doorstep. Oh. Well, I had to tell her that she had to go home right away and could never, ever do that again. But it was one of the funnest days in my whole mission. Okay, that's not exactly how it went down. I just wasn't about to write the whole truth in writing someplace where my mom might find it someday. Angela arrived in the late afternoon. There was no transportation back to Stockholm that day. And the members, they are on the lookout for this sort of thing. So there was no way we were going to see if they would put up a visiting girl from out of town. So we let her stay with us in our apartment overnight. She took my bed, I took the couch. She promised she would be on the train first thing in the morning. She stayed 2 more nights. On the last night, I was in the kitchen getting her a drink, and I closed the refrigerator and turned around, and she was there, inside my guard. And she stole a kiss. It was our first kiss. What? That's all. No, really, nothing else happened. I was not HBO. I was Lifetime. Borderlining on Hallmark. Transfers. Up north of Sundsvall this time, and Sweden's glorious summer is back. Days long forever. 2/3 of my mission's over. And I have no money. So what else is new? I went to a park. There's this guy out there playing the blues in his boxers. Jealous. July 27th. Angela rang, and we straightened out some things about not talking. For the past few weeks, I mean, she said she understood I needed to be Elder P for just a few more months, and that until then I couldn't truly be hers. She got it. It's like I didn't have to explain anything at all. So the next timeline coming up is important. Pay attention. I might have been set up. I mean, it was all in these journal articles, and I didn't even spot it till like 30 years later. August 14th. The APs called and told me I'd be moving to Umeå. That's getting real close to the Arctic Circle, and winter is Umeå. They also said to plan for a trip to Stockholm in September. August 20th. Angela heard somehow that I would be coming to Stockholm. And she called today. She's got an investigator friend, so we set up a teach with this friend and the rest of the regular Stockholm gang. August 28th. Total bummer. The APs called back and said the trip to Stockholm is canceled. Didn't explain why. September 6th. Got a call from the APs again. Elder B this time. They know I've been talking to her. They tell me to cut it off. Completely. Immediately. And they get back with the program. God, why are they putting me through all this again? I thought I had done everything that they asked, and now I'm suspect? I mean, when's this ever going to end? September 7th. I decided that as hard as it's going to be, I'm going to have to follow Elder B's counsel. I know I would feel a lot better when I do it, but it's going to be so hard convincing Angela. September 14th. Called Angela today about my conversation with the APs. It was no fun. Telling her we had to stop everything, but as usual, she was very understanding and accepted my reasons. Felt lousy about it. Shortly after the move to Umeå, we got called for a meeting in Stockholm. Real meeting this time. October 16th. I was still a little bit nervous about meeting with an apostle and mission president now that I'm back in leadership again. Angela was there. She crashed the conference. We had a chance to talk a little bit. That was rocky. We haven't spoken for like a month, and her just hasn't really been in my thoughts as much lately, and I think it showed. But seeing her again, it was all back. All those feelings, crystal clear. I mean, my place is with her, and we're going to be together again. Last transfer, home. I'll let him tell it. January 22nd, 1989. I haven't written because last Monday I sprained my ankle really bad. And I called the president to ask if maybe I could just I'm going to be on my feet for the next couple of weeks. Might as well do it at home either way, right? So I called Angela last night to tell her and to make arrangements so that we could meet on my way to the airport. There's this famous meeting place in Stockholm's train station. It's the big hole in the floor of the Central Station, and every single time I imagine us getting together at the end and talking about our future, it was there. But it looks like now I'll just be sending her back some of her things. It turns out that when I became a zone leader, she thought I blew her off just to be a leader. And she was furious at the time. And although she said she's mostly over that now, she said she didn't see us happening. And I guess she told her friends not to say anything, but they're all kind of done with me too. It's just a horrible misunderstanding, and it didn't seem to matter to say that. But to tell you the truth, maybe it's all just for the best. And by now I'm free to go home, pursue my life with no strings attached here. It's better that way. Just part of God's plan, right? Well, in that exact moment, I packed all those feelings up, dropped them down the deepest well I could find, and poured a couple thousand yards of concrete over it. It was 10 years before I wrote in that journal again. December 30th, 1997. It's 10 years ago today that Angela and I first met. I don't know where she is, or what life has brought her, or whether she was able to rebuild some happiness, the hopes and dreams she had before we. I hope she's been able to rebuild her life like I did, with some happy memories of the brief time that we had together. The anger at having to choose between my love and my God is not resting quietly today. Angela, I am so sorry that I wasn't wise enough to be able to help you understand the reasons for the choices that I made. I'm sorry I didn't fight harder for us. I reread our whole story that day, and I don't remember how much of the rest of it I spent on the living room floor, helpless and wrecked, breaking apart, terrified of what was threatening to come through. But somehow I managed to brick all that up again. And for the next 20 years, I just kept patching and patching those cracks as quickly and as quietly as I could. I still believed, but the damage just wasn't in my head. It was in my heart, my soul. I don't even know what to call those anymore. I mean, in the end, all the shame and guilt in the world wasn't enough to hold me together. It just told me that my feelings couldn't be trusted. And so when I couldn't believe all those people anymore, I couldn't believe the authority anymore, I ended up believing nothing at all. And now I am angry. And I am regretful of my life and of the choices that I made when I thought those feelings were God. Which is really, really confusing. Because some of those choices resulted in some really wonderful things. So the message, right? It's not a good door approach unless you have a message. So here it is. Don't let anyone ever tell you who to love. And don't let anyone else tell you what to believe. And be really, really careful about kicking other people around. Because you don't know what's already cracked inside you. I mean, maybe it needs to be broken. Maybe it doesn't. But who are we to break it for? come. We need to clear the venue out right away, but we will meet you all out in front in about 5 minutes to just say hi. Thank you so much for being here. Yes.
You don't gotta go home, but you gotta get
Oh, okay. I didn't mean that.
I'm good. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Yeah. Of course. I need to mom it. I want to show you.